Every month you have a required article and a choice article, right, for our PLCs. The required text for this month is not an article. It's section 3 of this book, okay? That's why on the choice menu you have certain chapters, and certain chapters are left off because those chapters actually turn into required chapters for you to read. Now, this copy is not all of section 3, okay? This copy is only the important thing that I wanted to focus on during our guided reading group. If you don't have this book and if you would like a copy of section 3, I will gladly make that appear in your mailbox for you. You shoot me an email, shoot me a text, whatever you want, and let me know. But this is not all of section 3. I want to be very clear about that. This is not all of section 3. This is just what I wanted to focus on for our small guided reading group. For our guided reading group, what I love about Miller's section is right at the very end, she talks about 10 tactics teachers can use to keep things hopping during IR. Now, I'm sorry? Oh, that's okay. Now, I had all these great plans about having you read the specific tactics, and we'll come back and talk about it. But again, I promised I'd get you out of here on time, so we're going to move very quickly. So we're going to focus on a few tactics that are very key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split you up into groups of 3 people, and I'm going to assign you one tactic. And all I want you to do is tell me, I'm going to give you like a minute to read it, because that's all it will take. It's like 2-3 paragraphs. And I want you to just tell the group one takeaway. Okay? So you 3, if you'll do tactic 5.
Here you go, Gina.
Sabrina, Kim, and Mary, if you will do tactic 7. Jennifer, Shanda, and Sonia, if you will do tactic 9. And Anne and Mara, if you will do tactic 10. So just read over it, and we'll talk about one takeaway that you came away from it. All right, I'm going to bring you back together real quick. You ready? Sorry, we're going to move quickly, but you can handle it. Tactic 5, one takeaway, your big takeaway. Tactic 5 is differentiate instruction and create accountability through conferring. One takeaway.
To listen to your readers.
And that's exactly right. And that's exactly what I have underlined. The first sentence on page 60 says, conferring is differentiation at its best. Conferencing individually with your students is the best way that you can zone in on exactly what they need, okay? Another sentence that I love from this book, and I literally love it because look, I put a little heart by it. It's on page 59. It says, early conferences are all about building relationships with children, establishing trust, and getting to know and love them. Conferencing doesn't just solve the purpose of instruction. It solves the purpose of building relationships. It does. It gives you that trust. It gives students able to open up to you. It gives them that opportunity to open up to you one-on-one. So it solves multiple purposes with that one stone. Tactic 7, invite students to reflect on and share their learning. One takeaway.
Students take ownership of their learning and reflect.
Did you look at my book? Because that's exactly what I have underlined. On page 61, it says student ownership of learning. And that is the biggest takeaway in Tactic 7. When you invite students to reflect on their learning, it's giving them ownership, it's giving them power, it's giving them responsibility. That's the biggest reason why those conferencing questions didn't just focus on, is this capitalized? Is this properly punctuated? Did you include a title? They're more open-ended questions to let the conversation go and to flow and give them that power and responsibility. Tactic 9.
So that the kids need to be, it needs to be relevant to them, so that they can show ownership for their own learning.
That's perfect. It needs to be relevant. They need to show ownership, and because it can be differentiated through IR and through conferences, it all goes right together. Great. And tactic 10.
Okay, ours was about assessment, and the takeaway was letting them decide how they want to share their understanding, how they want to reflect what they learned. It's more authentic.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, if you're focused on a certain strategy, if you're focused on main idea and details, if you're focused on figurative language, doesn't matter whether they draw a picture of figurative language or write about it or make a podcast about it. It doesn't, because you're assessing figurative language. So giving them, again, that power, that authority, that responsibility to choose how they're being assessed is going to go many, many, many fold. All right, and that's it. We're gonna group right back up.